The Kings brought back most of their rotational players from last season, which doesn't leave a ton of room for the few newcomers to find minutes. However, with the anticipated departure of Terence Davis, there's a pathway for newest Sacramento King Chris Duarte to find a way into the everyday rotation. Duarte had a down year last season in Indiana, in which he battled injuries, and the Pacers made it clear they no longer viewed him as part of their future going forward, which allowed for Monte McNair to do what he does best and buy low on a potential gem in Duarte. So in this video, I'm gonna break down what Duarte should bring to the Kings, as well as how he should fit in Sacramento's system. Duarte was a huge beneficiary of playing alongside Sabonis during his rookie season with Indiana, as he had a natural chemistry playing with him. Sabonis assisted Duarte 43 times, which is more than any other teammate during his Pacers tenure. The spot-up shooting Duarte provides should be valuable to Sacramento, with Sabonis oftentimes drawing two defenders in the post or being able to kick out the teammates on the short roll. He also has a great understanding of how to move off ball. Watch here how he drifts to the corner against Miami's zone, finding the open space and creating an easier window for Sabonis to hit him. Sabonis' vision is really incredible, as Kings fans are well aware of by now. Look at the way he stares down the cutter here to draw the help over, only to fire a cross-court bounce pass to a now wide-open Duarte in the corner. Sabonis is always looking for cutters, and Duarte did a tremendous job at recognizing overplays and understanding when to go backdoor. A spaced out court with Domas in the high post is the recipe for an elite offense, and Chris was great at playing off of this. The Kings' offense is very DHO-centric, with Sabonis acting as the playmaking hub, and Duarte's already familiar here as well. Domas creates exceptional looks out of the dribble handoff game with his advanced processing plus screening ability. Here's a delay action that gets Sabonis the ball as an above-the-arc playmaker, stuff we see a lot of in Sacramento. With Scotty Barnes trailing Duarte over and around the screen to take away a DHO, Duarte turns this into a cut, and Domas delivers a beautiful dime, leading him right to the basket. These two just play so well off of each other. The connection they have in the two-man or give-and-go game is similar to the spark Domas has with Sacramento King Kevin Huerter. It's simple recognition for Duarte, but he makes these reads really quick. Any overplay in the slightest and he's cutting to the rim. These high post sets open up so much as Duarte delivers the entry pass and instantly cuts off of it before help defenders can rotate. So the help at the basket just is not there in time. Just watch this offensive process and how similar it is to the Huerter and Sabonis connection. Domas is looking for a quick hitting DHO in transition, but when that isn't there, Duarte knows to reset and sync up once again, this time a quick give and go, and now he has enough space for a shot. But Chris knows how to use his dribbles too. When defenders go over while the big is in a drop, one or two dribbles around a Sabonis screen, and Duarte can step into these open mid-range jumpers. During his rookie season, he shot a respectable 43% on these looks. A lot of these actions are also translatable to Sacramento as well. These zoom actions where Duarte receives a screen before going into a DHO are commonplace in the Kings offense. His process when operating as a ball handler out of the screen could definitely use some work. He settles too often on these long jumpers and misses quite a bit of reads because he's only trying to create for himself. Duarte should be impactful as a catch-and-shoot threat, though his numbers may not fully indicate it. As mentioned before, he really battled injuries throughout his sophomore season with the Pacers, which really knocked his efficiency across the board, but in his rookie season, he was just above 40% on catch-and-shoot threes. He's great at relocating off ball and being able to drift or lift into open spaces. The Kings run a lot of ghost action for Fox, especially in crunch time, and Duarte should be able to operate as a ghost screener in some of these actions. He showcases ability with the Pacers and being able to knock down shots whenever two are drawn to the ball. Every team runs at least some variation of Spain pick and rolls as well, which would be another way to utilize this ability of Duarte. Having shooters of this caliber give you a lot of room for offensive creativity, and I love some of the sets the Pacers use to take advantage of it. Here, having Duarte come off the pin down, catch, then flip the ball back to the point guard, then come off the flare screen on the opposite side to create a look. Then as a counter to that flare screen, watch Duarte come off the opposite side instead on a rescreen, an action that we call Ricky. The Kings ran almost the same exact set last season for Huerter, again drawing some similarities between the two players. You can exercise this type of creativity in offense for guys who can hit shots off screens, and Duarte has shown real chops as a movement shooter. He isn't as crisp or as sharp as a guy like Herter, but he's someone I feel comfortable with running some actions for within your offense. When operating off ball, Duarte isn't super active as a cutter and won't really punish gap help one pass away with cuts. Instead, he's usually drifting away from the help into open areas on the perimeter, looking for a catch and shoot opportunity. With Miami's defense here in scramble mode, there's a wide open lane to cut to the rim with no big help, but Duarte here instead opts to drift to the corner for a solid look at a 3, but it kind of shows you his thought process off the ball. This trigger-happy mentality on the perimeter is really prominent out of DHOs, where he's always looking for an instant quick hitter. His first read is always trying to catch and shoot off a handoff, and oftentimes he'll pull these for better or worse. With that being said, Duarte will still put the ball on the floor and has a decent pull-up game. He's definitely more comfortable going to his left, and whenever he gets into the lane, he likes to rise up for these tough fadeaway jumpers. There's also flashes of great pick and roll execution. Here he gets his defender on his hip, uses his body to create space, enabling him to elevate in the paint for a clean look. And this is just awesome stuff here. He gets low and snakes back to his right to evade the gap help, then steps right into an elbow jumper once again to showcase that pull-up game. But overall, he does tend to struggle to consistently create advantages out of the pick and roll, and as a result, he settles for a ton of tough shots. He's not coming off these screens sharp enough, nor effectively uses his body to create enough separation. Duarte also isn't super adept at attacking closeouts, he lacks explosiveness going off the catch, and this was especially prominent last season, with all of the injuries that he battled. During his rookie season, just 41% of his shots came from 3, and that number was up to 52% in his second season. Just goes to show how he really struggled to apply any rim pressure. He was ultra reliant on jump shots for a load of his offense. Even when he had mismatches, he would still settle for these long jumpers off the bounce. Still though, the shot making ability that Duarte possesses is really intriguing, and he can get you some tough buckets. He's truly a fearless player, will attack any defender, and has a knack for hitting the most difficult of shots. He's pretty comfortable with the step back going to his left, and really isn't deterred by great contest. But when defenders run Duarte off the line, he really struggles to turn the corner, which creates a lot of difficult attempts at the basket. He just lacks the speed to truly get by players. Another issue he has here is leaving his feet too early, leaving him without a real plan in the air. This gives him some pretty impossible angles to finish around the basket, and also tends to get a lot of his shots around the rim blocked, as he fails to ever stop himself once he gets ahead of steam. Even on some of his better drives, Duarte really lacks touch around the basket in general. He leaves a lot of shots short, and this area of his game just doesn't look comfortable in the slightest. I would still say there are some positive flashes here. He has a decent left hand and is willing to finish with the left even on the right side. He will also occasionally showcase the ability to finish through traffic and contact at tough angles. I would consider Duarte very much a one-read player when it comes to his passing. He can make good passes within his line of sight, and he shows some nice glimmers here. If he doesn't feel he has enough space for a shot, he'll usually drop it off too big near the basket. But it's the instances of patience that intrigue me. Instead of dishing it to the first cutter he sees here, watch how he uses a ball fake to suck in the defender, freeing up an open look on the perimeter. And this here might have been the most impressive play I've seen out of Duarte. Here he leaves his feet, but on the jump pass resorts to his third read, firing this pass across to the weak side wing, which was initially completely out of his line of sight. Because of the simple passing feel that Duarte possesses in correspondence with all of the other traits that he has, he should be able to provide some value as a decision maker out of the pick and roll and DHO game. He'll no doubt have the opportunity to do so within the confines of the Kings offense. On defense, Duarte should offer most of his services as a team defender. He has a very good understanding of rotations and assignments, and I like his contributions here. He can make these rotations quickly as he does so here. When he's beat on this closeout, he's aware enough to instantly peel off to the corner and is there to contest the shot. Here he makes a quick stunt for a high tag on the roll man, but is still there on the catch when the kickout pass is made to get a good contest. This time he's a low man on the pick and roll, and he's aware of the action early and again makes his rotation right on time to be in the right spot. But this play here really sums up Duarte's ability as a defender in my opinion. The process is perfect. He's where he needs to be as the low man and recognizes his skip pass at the corner. However, look at how easily he's beaten on this closeout and the little resistance that he offers. And this here is the common theme with Duarte's closeouts. He isn't the quickest laterally, and is most noticeable with his defensive first step. He does a poor job of anticipating drives and is a bit slow in his reaction time. When he's defending on the ball, he really struggles at decelerating alongside offensive players. He doesn't have the best balance or footwork here to be able to plant and launch himself in a better contest. But the biggest issue I saw out of Duarte on the defensive end was his strength and not understanding fully how to use his body. Markelle Fultz absolutely killed him here. Duarte would get himself out of position and was hopeless at fighting back in plays. Once he was locked in your hip, he was out of the picture. Although he won't necessarily beat guys to spots, he can slide with players relatively well and does a good job at staying attached. He's pretty technically sound in this aspect and does a decent job flipping his hips. I love this play here, how he's loading the gaps off ball, but anticipates the drive on his closeout and funnels the offensive player into a tough shot. Expecting a breakout or a monster season from Duarte may be a bit unrealistic, but it's easy to see why this move could work out for the Kings and how he could fit in. He's an ideal piece in Sacramento for a variety of reasons and was a worthwhile chance to take with virtually no risk. I would anticipate him being in the rotation as a backup 3, and he should get plenty of opportunity to do so. Anyways, as always, thank you guys for sticking around and supporting the channel, and see you all next time.